So I actually thought Justice League was pretty good, and I think there's two main reasons. One, I really like Batman versus Superman. I know a lot of people didn't, but for me, I love the moral ambiguity. There were so many things going on. There was Batman doing this, anything that it takes, torturing bad guys, doing whatever it takes. There was Superman sacrificing so many people for the one woman that he loves. There was the Congresswoman trying to get a handle on these superheroes for democracy. There's Jesse Eisenberg's Luthor trying to get a handle on these superheroes more for his own personal narcissism and insecurities. I thought we got our first glimpse of Gal Gadot in this role. I thought she was brilliant. I actually really like Ben Affleck's Batman. I don't think it would have worked in any of the Christopher Nolan movies, let's say. I think he would have been terrible. But in this particular movie, in this interpretation of Batman, contrasting and kind of as a foil to Superman, I thought Ben Affleck was surprisingly great. So one, I really like Batman versus Superman. Two, I saw this after everyone had come out and said it was terrible, so I went into it with basically zero expectations. I was expecting it to be an awful movie, so I think those two things combined to me actually really liking this one and being very disappointed at the box office performance. This is one of the first times I've been really saddened by box office numbers because I feel like I would love to get more movies with these same actors and with the same creative people behind this movie, but I feel like I won't, so I am disappointed. I thought Steppenwolf was a decent villain. I liked his design, I liked his dialogue, I liked his backstory, I liked his action sequences. I don't know why he got so much hate as a villain, and I really liked his parademons. I thought made for some of the best visuals that I've seen, like when they were all flying out of the smokestacks and you have these demon bats flying out of these nuclear power plants. I thought really memorable visuals stuck with me. And I also like the Amazons in this, which was interesting because in Wonder Woman, I didn't like the Amazons at all. I thought they weren't handled well. In this, I really liked them. Another thing, in Wonder Woman, I didn't like when they did the kind of mythology and the flashback. Here, when they flash back to that primordial beginning of time's battle, I thought it was quite good. I like what they did with Batman in this. I thought the Nightcrawler was cool. And Ben Affleck, I thought he was good again. I liked his dynamic with Alfred. I thought he was a great leader. I loved his interactions with Aquaman. I thought they were very funny. I loved his interactions with Wonder Woman, really sexually charged, and he has good size, and I thought that helped his action sequences be kind of more brutal and brawling, while Wonder Woman's action sequences, she has a super speed, and I thought Wonder Woman's action sequences were by far my favorite out of any character, which was somewhat of a surprise to me, and so much better than when I saw Wonder Woman. She had some good action sequences there, but here was just some of the best I've seen. And honestly, I liked what they did with every character. The Flash, I thought was funny, good comic relief, but also they humanized him, and you got to see a bit of his backstory. I liked Aquaman. I thought he was a badass, but again, they still kept some of that goofy Aquaman spirit. And the Cyborg, I liked the design, even though we didn't see too much of him. I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So when they woke up Superman, initially I felt it was a bit anticlimactic and disappointing, but when he joined the battle at the end, that was just a great moment. And the Batmobile driving through this hellish red landscape, shooting at these demons, it was just great visuals. And at the end, when they all turn on Steppenwolf because they smelled his fear, I just thought it was a great moment and a great way to end it. So all in all, I think this was a pretty good superhero movie, and I can say objectively Thor Ragnarok was probably better. I think it deserves some more positive reviews, but just personally, I like this one as much, if not a little better, and I don't think it was as good as Batman vs. Superman, but it was still quite good, and everyone's saying, oh, it did horrible at the box office. Well, obviously that proves it was a horrible movie. I think it might be a more silly reason. Like, I just think the name Justice League, for someone who doesn't know a lot about comics, they might look at that name versus Thor Ragnarok and just Justice League doesn't really sound cool to them, and they're not going to go watch it. And it can be sometimes silly reasons like that why a movie underperforms, not necessarily anything to do with the particular movie that was made. And I think this was one of those cases where just a combination of different factors led to the disaster at the box office. I don't really think that it's indicative of the quality of the movie. I think it was pretty good.